my power.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in
Episode
2 years,
Tyrus.
we will be doing a full review of a Star Wars movie. Yes, that's
Well,
right, another
wasn't the whole reason we didn't
nonsensical.
do one last year because I was moving and it wasn't a numbered film entry, so we figured we could get away with it.
Yeah, I think we just figured we were gonna only do the storied ones, Rogue One and Solo, which I finally saw the first poster for, which is gonna be a May release instead of it being December. But anyways, we're not here to
Oh,
talk about
May
that.
used to be Star Wars month.
We're here to talk about The Last Jedi. Last time The Force Awakened, I barely awakened because I did not get sleep. I'm tired. But this is going to be a good, hearty discussion. Neither of us have been able to talk. We forbade ourselves to have a good discussion about this
It was
up until
painful.
this point. Oh, it was so painful. Words were said, vases were thrown, vases were thrown. But here we are on Tyrus Now Live in comedy night, so people can join if they give a damn. And we're finally, is anybody here?
No, because
No.
I kicked everybody out earlier, remember?
Okay, well they'll join eventually. Okay, so we're gonna get right into this. Now, I was like, as I said last time, I always like to start any movie review off with how that day was, and that day was
Uh-huh.
pretty good for me. I woke up excited for the movie. I actually cosplayed this year. I think it was my first time cosplaying at a theater since the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, where I went dressed up. Tyrus sat
I don't
down.
know why I sat down, okay? It's just a
Yeah,
deal with
where
it.
I went dressed up as
I like to talk.
Spider-Man, and
I was Spider-Man once.
here's a couple pictures. I'll have pictures in like a quiet video of my
Wait,
Kylo Ren,
which Spider-Man was it that you went to?
the Tobey Maguire
For the
one.
There's three.
Uh, Two. Spider-Man 2, because I was already a big Spider-Man fan, which is what the first film did. And I remember I hopped up on the counter wearing a mask, and I'll never forget the box office guy. I was like, "What film are you here to see?" And my dad looked at
You
me, and
hopped on the counter.
yeah, I did.
Of course you did.
My dad looked at me and looked at the guy and was like, "What do you think?" He was like, "Okay, two for Spider-Man." So yeah, that was fun. It was cool to be in costume and see. There was a couple other cosplayers, and I want you to take note of this, people. So I went in there. There was me dressed up as Kylo Ren. There was someone else who was wearing a Chewbacca like vest, and then. And some of you who've already seen the movie, hopefully everybody's seen this movie. Spoilers, by the way. We're gonna get deep as fuck into spoilers into this. There's a guy walking in like this gold laced robe. And I'm like, who the hell is he supposed to be? and,
Yeah,
and
obviously you hadn't seen the pop figures.
I haven't.
So
No, yeah, I didn't see any of the pop
for this
figures. I
movie.
tried to avoid this as much as possible because I don't like having it spoiled for me until I go in there. But yeah, he was just walking around. I think he had like a pet squid. I'm like, all right, well, maybe he's just a really casual, comfortable man. Like maybe he's just a billionaire with this gold silk robe. Like, I will go down to the peasants' movie theater to understand what they are doing for the Star Wars. But yeah,
So, okay.
there you go.
So
What was
that
your
was
day
your
like?
day for it. My day for it. So, this is gonna have to go back a little bit back to Thor Ragnarok to properly explain
Right.
circumstances. But basically, I had to go see the movie in a relatively new theater, even though I've lived in the St. Louis area for the last 26 years, minus 3 or 4, because I was living there so elsewhere when I first got married. Anyway, uh, so there's this theater company that used to be specifically just in the St. Louis area, called the Warenberg Theaters.
Warenberg.
And yeah, they had a jingle and everything before the movies and stuff. It was very nostalgic for me every time I went to see a movie there. Recently, we went to go try and see Thor Ragnarok in the theater that I grew up going to, and they had several horrible sins they have committed. First
Ooh.
off, being reserved seating.
See, I am hard pressed to find a theater that does not have reserved seating down here.
That's the surprising thing.
Yeah.
So they have no, they have a lot of AMC theaters up here now
Mm-hmm.
since I've moved back into town, and none of them have reserved seating. But the reason that there is reserved seating at the Warenberg theaters now is Warenberg was bought out like a year ago by one of the uh, movie theater companies in Detroit, of all places,
Right.
Marcus Theaters, I guess. You say right like you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. You've never set foot in the state.
No.
Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, so it was like, okay, they've got reserved seating. Can we still get 4 tickets? Because I was going with my best friend and my wife and her sister, and it was gonna be great to go see Thor Ragnarok. Gonna have a good time. And they're like, oh yeah, we've got 4 seats. There's 2 over here, 1 here, and 1 here. I looked him in the face. I said, that's bullcrap. We left. We went to the AMC theater.
Just looked him in
Now,
the
now,
face.
skip the 2 3s. Let's skip 2 or 3 weeks later. I'm gonna go see um, the new Star Wars soon. We're driving past that theater, and I noticed something absolutely atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
That theater used to be one of the most well decorated theaters during the holidays. It had animatronic teddy bears and huge Christmas trees and lights everywhere. I'm
Mm-hmm.
driving past it on the highway. Not a single friggin' sprig of holly on the entire
Oh,
building.
that's a shame.
It's disgusting. It's so disappointing because
Probably
you
new
know
owners.
it is. No, I'm sure it is. They're doing some remodeling, but they still have this huge like bay window above the entryway
Mm-hmm.
where you could always see a tree and garland and bears.
Yeah, just something a little winter festive, you know. Get the
Yeah, they're.
people in the
But
nice
no,
mood.
no, we don't give a crap. And it's really annoying because I wanted to take my kids to go see a movie in a Warenberg theater and have them enjoy it. You
Mm.
know, you could share my nostalgia. But anyway, so we went to the AMC theater, and it was fair. Um,
Fair
the,
service
I
and all
worked
that.
before that. I worked during the day before that. I did so. AMC has been doing a promotion where you can buy a Star Wars themed popcorn tin
I saw
if you
that.
see the
Yeah, the
movies there.
$25 deal where you get the tin
They're
and then
not.
the big drink.
They're not $25. The tin's only 6.
Oh, fuck you! It's 25 down here. I would totally have gotten that thing if it was
Well,
six
but here's
bucks.
the thing: I got a large drink and a tin and a regular popcorn for 14. So I don't know what you're
Oh, you
talking
son
about.
of a bitch! No,
For
they're like,
25
yeah,
bucks.
you can
Anyway,
get this cool
anyway, it
stin.
was really weird because the guy at the concession stand, bless his heart, I asked him for the tin and for some popcorn to go in the tin,
Whoa, whoa, hold
and
on.
now I'm alone.
I got disconnected. Tell the one person.
Nobody
Tell the one person I
knows.
got disconnected.
No, you gone.
Yep.
You
Okay.
stopped talking. Aren't you recording?
No, I'm there. I'm there.
Come back. You,
Okay.
you you stopped. You didn't say anything, so I didn't know if I could still be
No,
heard.
I got disconnected
Anyway,
real quick. Okay. Yeah, that was weird. Hello, I'm back. Okay.
you're good. No one cares. All right. Anyway, went in the theater. The tin. Anyway, bless his heart. I asked him for the tin and for some popcorn. Because it's a freaking popcorn tin. And
Right.
he's like, "What? You want popcorn in that?" And I'm like, "The hell? Are you high?
No, I
And
actually.
what's wrong?" And he's literally told me you have to buy it in one of the 3 sizes that we already carry. Regular, medium, and large. And I was like,
Oh.
"Fine, give me a medium." And he proceeds to give me one of the stupid paper bags of popcorn, and so I shoved that inside my tin and hugged the tin for the whole movie.
You want popcorn? That no, I'd
In
actually
the
like.
popcorn tin.
I'd actually like to buy 7 boxes of Bunch of Crunch. Can you just pour them in there, please?
No, he would have had trouble with that too, apparently. Poor guy.
Oh
They
man.
obviously didn't give them like any kind of precedent because the tins aren't the same size as their bucket size
Yeah.
popcorn buckets. They're slightly smaller. They honestly they're shaped more like a drinking cup.
Oh,
Drinking
okay.
cup,
Yeah.
what
No,
did I just say?
our tin was the size of the popcorn things. That's probably why it was $25. It was
No, it's close to
huge.
that size. It's close to that size, but it's not the same shape. And it's slightly more. It's more slender, I guess. Anyway, it looks cool. I got the one that looks just like the movie poster. The
Mm.
lettering is all raised on it and stuff. It's cool. It's it's very nice. So besides that, the theater was a pleasant experience. The audience was reactive enough to the movie. It was fun. I couldn't quite get them to clap at random points like I wanted to, but it was okay.
Yeah. One of the biggest things I was proud of with the Force Awakens was that I started the first clap when a long time ago Galaxy Far Far Away went on the screen for the first time in theaters in years, and I was so happy that I started that clap. This time I didn't start it, but because there was one like, and I was like,
No
"You
one clapped
motherfucker."
at my
Um,
theater when the scroll started.
oh no, the blue text came up. It was a packed theater. Blue text came up. Audience went nuts. It was awesome. And it. Let me just say, after Rogue One not having a scroll, I forgot how much I missed it.
Does it not have a scroll? I can't recall.
Nope, Rogue One does not have a scroll. It just says long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and they just cut straight into the movie with the vroom, and then you see the opening shot. But I was
Mhm,
so
mhm,
happy to see
mhm.
the scroll again. It felt great. It's like, yes, here we are, honest to God Star Wars. We're sitting here, we're watching it, we're experiencing this together. And so here we go, we're going into the movie. I love this opening scene. Haven't seen Poe Dameron in quite a while. He wasn't that big of a part of the first movie. He was, in about like 20% of it.
He kind of set a lot of it in motion, though.
He did. Yeah. Um but like
I mean, he was the character, first main character we saw.
there's a lot of moments, like basically all of Force Awakens summed up is is the machine at the end of the bowling alley that sets up the pins, and then for better or worse, the Last Jedi is the ball that knocks them down. And I think that Poe's
I'd like to say that it's the first shot that you take in a two shot per round kind of thing,
yeah, okay, yeah, it's like the 7-10
where
split or
you
something like
knock
that.
down a few pins, but not necessarily all of them. There's some
Yeah.
key pins that are probably still left. That's a good explanation for this, I think, because
Hmm.
that's one thing people have been complaining about is that it changes so much about the previous movies and just
Yeah.
things like that. But I don't feel like it erased anything that was hard canon. It just kind of expanded a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So the
We're
opening
actually going to have
scene.
an entire episode dedicated to people's criticisms and me trying to explain why they should work and people should stop being so pissy.
Yeah, yeah, because like I mean, come on. Okay, so first scene we have Poe Dameron BB-8 in that awesome X-wing. Uh, Apparently the rebel base from Force Awakens gone. It got exploded, so all the rebels are on this ship and they're being chased in this extremely slow. It's the equivalent of
So
like
basically, they're just shuttling people from the planet in smaller versions of the Republic, or sorry, Rebellion battle cruisers of the original trilogy,
yeah,
so that those can jump into a much larger one,
yeah.
and that's the only carrier ship they've got is just this one big one. And while they're trying to do that, all of the Star Destroyers show up, like
Not
all
to
of them.
mention the Star Destroyers, but a new type of ship. I don't know if it's new completely, but new to me. I don't know if it's ever been introduced in
I've
the
done my
universe or the
research.
canon
You would
or.
be you'll be happy to know that it is a Star Dreadnought class ship,
Uh huh.
and it's to be a orbital bombardment platform. Basically, is what they're saying. That's why it had the big guns underneath it.
Yeah, it was called a ballista. I've
No.
only seen the movie once, as opposed to last time where I saw Force Awakens a couple times. I plan on seeing it more times because I saw Force Awakens 6 times and Rogue One about like five in theaters. Um, and so this one I'm definitely going to see more. But yeah, that ship I thought looked awesome. Like I love the
Yeah,
Star
no, it was
Destroyers,
pretty cool.
and it was so
Pretty
cool to
cool.
see that. And I love my favorite thing about Star Wars, hands down, are the space battles. Those are the things I
There's
look
someone here.
forward to the most. You know, and watching it open with this sort of badass space battle, because like first it's cool, he's flying by, he's taking down the guns on this thing. We get some great
Yeah,
interaction.
it's called a siege dreadnought. That's why you thought of Ballista.
There you go, Siege Dreadnought. He's so Poe is taking down the guns. You get some great dialogue between the First Order and the main blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy. Hux. Yeah, Hux.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
General
yeah,
Admiral Hux.
he's talking to Poe, and they have a great
Wait, wait,
exchange with
wait,
each
wait.
other.
Hux was the villain. Poe. Oh no, you are talking about. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. Talking
Um,
about that sequence. I liked it a lot. Poe keeps asking for him like it's a phone call. It's
I
very
loved the
tongue in
comedy
cheek.
in this movie. A lot of people were saying it's too Marvel and Marvel comedies suck. Make it serious. I want to cry. But like,
No, I
look,
feel like Rain Johnson did a really good job finding
yeah,
a balance between the
it's
two. I love that the directors for each film have collaborated on all of them.
yeah, and George. Okay, funny thing. Before we even get deeper into the story, get used to this, folks. We're gonna say like four sentences or four words about a scene, and then we're gonna go on non sequiturs for 30 minutes before we get back to it. Um, George Lucas said that he liked the movie, but his only critique, and this pissed me off, as you can imagine, he made multiple visits to the set, and he would walk in and he'd see them building these giant sets and these models and all that stuff, and he'd be like, why are you building these sets here? Why do you have this? Why do you have these models? And Ryan was like, well, because we thought that this is what you'd want. We'd want it to be authentic as possible. Yeah, well, you could just use CG for this. I was like, fuck you, George. This is why you don't have the series anymore. Go away. Go home. Get out of the set. No, I like the models. I like
He's
everything the
like
way
my
it is.
well-intentioned father-in-law making suggestions that are either outdated or have already been attempted.
Yeah, he's like, I love how he's just like, yeah, all this is nice, but see CG, it worked out great.
There
And
you go.
have you ever seen Phantom Menace? Oh, people love that one. It's good. It's good. Um,
uh,
okay, so Poe Dameron's flying around, blowing shit up, looking amazing. We got TIE fighters. It's great. I'm so happy. Sitting there with my popcorn on my bunch of crunch. We're starting off with a bang. All right, we get some comedy. We have that funny dialogue between the two of them. I'm laughing. The theater's laughing. The audience is laughing. It's, as opposed to the theater and the audience being one. Theater itself is laughing. And then we see that beautiful face of our fallen princess, Carrie Fisher. I just want to say this was a great swan song for her to go out on. I don't know if they're going to use anything of her in the next film or if she's merely going to be talked about.
I honestly I don't remember if they got any filming started for episode 9 before Carrie Fisher died. I
Yeah.
feel like they might have, so who knows.
But I mean, when I saw her, you can just feel in the room that, like, ah, God, she really is gone, huh? But she was amazing in this. Her and Hamill are the two best actors in this film, and I may be biased because, like, you put any of the old characters together, and
Oh,
like, I'm gonna get weepy. Like, I'm gonna get this out. I got teary eyed 3 different times in this film, and one of
okay, yeah,
them.
they definitely didn't start filming episode 9 yet.
Mhm.
Apparently they'll start in June.
Yeah, but so they're doing the whole you can't be a hot shot. Oh, okay. So
Yeah, no, they're so Carrie Fisher, so Leia tells Poe, yes, you destroyed the big fat robot ship thing, but we also lost all of our bombers. And he's like, well, they are heroes. And then she says they're dead heroes, which
yeah,
is just really good. Really good line. Puts it in perspective. Dead heroes don't win wars because they're gone.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot. There's a few. There's two main messages throughout this film. Some are subtle. Some are not. How they come across, and
Like
it's the
like
very
porgs are delicious is a very
yeah,
subtle message.
the very unsubtle things I don't. It kind of stuck out to me. There's very pro animal friendly vibes, very anti war vibes. Both of those are good things, but when they're shoved, it's kind of like, okay. Um,
I
like
don't
there's
think that animal cruelty thing was really shoved because I mean he was holding a cooked animal and just made the decision not to eat it based on his own decisions.
but then there was
He's not turning vegan or
the whole
something.
tauntaun thing where it's like no
I'm
no
done
it, yeah okay well I mean we're getting ahead of ourselves again as we tend to do. Okay, so
now.
Tyrus, tell us what happens after that scene after Leia General Leia Organa demotes him.
Organic. Yeah, Leia demoted Poe from commander to captain. Um, and that's all well and good. I think they made the jump to light speed, and while they're jumping into light speed, is that when Finn wakes up, or does he wake up later?
Yeah, he wakes up during Lightspeed, which was really cool because we don't get many scenes. I think this is maybe the first scene that we have seen where people are doing stuff in the Lightspeed tunnel because there's a
No,
window behind Finn and you can
no,
see.
they've done stuff in light speed tunnels before.
Oh, okay. Um, so there's a window behind Finn, and he's waking up, and Poe is getting out of his X-wing because he had to just go out there again after getting demoted. Uh, and you could see the big garage doors open, and you could just see the tunnel going by. And I thought that was amazing. Like that was something that
Oh,
I haven't seen before. Like that was really cool.
yeah, and I liked so as soon as Finn woke up, BB-8 tells Poe because BB-8 knows somehow. He
Yeah,
says, "Finn naked bag
leaking.
leaking." Yes,
Yeah.
Finn naked bag leaking.
And Poe's
And
like,
it's just and
what?
Poe's like, "What the heck are you talking about?
Are
Did
you
you scramble your
malfunctioning?
circuits?"
Yeah.
They did have a nice moment that we kind of glossed over during the attack on the dreadnought, where Poe's weapon system got fried, and we have the whole cliche of people sticking their fingers in holes in a boat that's sinking to keep it from sinking, but
Hmm.
with electricity. And BB-8 has so many little fingers he can break off of his tool. That fails, so he just rams his head into it.
Oh God, I love it. See, I've heard some complaints with BB-8 being like, oh, BB-8 just does what the script wants it to. Like,
That's
yeah,
what
but
Archie
it's
does.
awesome. I mean,
That's what
come on,
Archie does. I
BB-8's
mean, come
fucking
on.
cool. Like, I did not expect to like him because like, oh, he's just the new R2D2.
This poor man's Archie.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
I
adorable.
think Niall's dead now.
I
Niall, you can keep
disconnected.
talking even if you're not on the stage,
I know.
because I
Um,
can hear you in Discord.
well, I keep talking, but when I get disconnected, you can't hear me for a little bit. But at least
Mm-hmm.
the capture gets everything. I'm on my
Well,
way.
this is why I'm glad that we hosted, had me host this
Yeah,
stage.
yeah, because
You'll be
otherwise
able to
that would
do some
destroy
clip
everything.
clap. You'll be able to do some clip clap
Well, clip clap
adjustments.
like a horse. Okay. Um.
I think I was saying BB-8 is R2D2 for kids that are little because he's so cute.
Yeah.
But it's like my son thinks R2 is cute. He's 2.
Yeah.
so I don't know.
R2
Anyway,
is
but
just.
he's great. BB-8 it does it. I think he's absolutely fantastic in this movie.
Oh
Nothing
yeah.
he does is out of the realm of possibility.
Absolutely. I think everything he does is adorable, funny, uh, reasonable. Like you said, like nothing is out of the ordinary. There's no super BB-8 or anything like that. Um,
I'm a fly.
I'm a fly, but yeah. So they do light speed, and then lo and behold, they found them, which is like, oh my god, how does this happen? Now we're out of fuel. They're right behind us. They're gonna smoke us out. They're gonna snoke us out.
Yeah, yeah. But first, Poe, finds Finn. Finn's walking around wearing a bag that's leaking, and his first question is, "Where's Ray?" And then we get the cut
Yeah.
to Ahch-To, the planet of the first Jedi Temple, where grouchy hermit Luke Skywalker is living.
Yes.
And
Oh my
Ray's trying
gosh.
to offer him the lightsaber.
And
And
I
I think I'd like to think Mark Hamill kind of just, you know, improv this sequence right
I'd
here.
love to think that.
He grabs, she hands him the lightsaber. He grabs it, looks at her, chucks it over his shoulder, and walks away.
just chucks it right over. It was like, yeah,
It's
no, I'm
you know,
good.
it's crap. Take
Thanks
care of
for
yourself.
coming back. It's cool. I
Galaxy
haven't.
don't need. I don't need any of the galaxy's problems.
Yeah.
Got no human problems. Galaxy ain't one.
And he walks away. And so we have the classic movie. We need you to come out of retirement to save the world. No, yes, no, yes,
Hmm.
no, yes, no. But they do it really well here. And my favorite things about this is seeing how Skywalker lives. Like we see him milk this disgusting,
The thing.
disgusting like sea cow. It's like I don't know if
She got
that's
me for the
blue milk,
giraffe.
if that's the blue milk.
It was green milk for sure.
Yeah, but he just like he drinks it in like, yeah, I know this is disgusting. Like,
He didn't grimace when he drank it. He just drank it deadpan.
yeah, it was great. But
It
he
was pretty interesting. So no, you can't just talk all the time.
go
Love.
ahead, go ahead.
Podcast.
I was actually starting a segue and let you do it. I was gonna be like,
No,
so
you're a
Tyrus.
segue. Anyway, it's pretty great. Was I the only one who was thrown off by hearing Luke Skywalker talk and sound almost nothing like Luke Skywalker did in the originals? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, he feels
He's done so many voice roles since his last Star Wars film movie appearance that it's hard to hear him talk. Not as a character. You're like, wait, is this how he normal? Is this normal Mark Hamill voice?
Did
It's
you
hard to find that.
recognize that scene where a bit of the Joker came out?
Not sure what you're talking about.
It was towards the end after Ray confronts him, where she basically gives him the ultimatum of like, look, either I'm going by myself or you're going with me. And he has this like, he says in like a high shrill voice, I can't! And I was like, hey, there's the Joker. There it is. It slipped out of him. Well, there it goes again. Bye-bye, Joker.
I guess that was a bit jokery. So, fun fact.
Yep.
The porgs, the adorable, delicious little meatballs with wings,
Yes.
were actually created out of necessity,
Uh-huh.
not necessarily to. You skeptical?
No, no,
Those-
I know where you're going here, but
So
let's tell
they
the
were
audience.
created because the island, the real island that they were filming on for this, Luke's lonely island on the planet, has a very high population of puffins.
Which is
To the point
arguably
that
the
there are so
cutest
many
name for any
puffins.
animal ever.
Yeah, it's true. But the puffins were so abundant on the island while they were trying to film, and it's also a nature preserve, so they can't harm them or get rid of them, send them away. And so Rain was like, Ryan, I'm sorry, there were so many of these little birds here. It'd take forever for us to just edit them all out. So why don't we just touch them up a little bit with some movie magic, and make them into Star Wars creatures? You can't just leave puffins on the screen.
That's probably George Lucas. Like, hey, I like these puffins, but we put some CGI on them.
No, I'm saying Ryan. said that it's easier just to convert them rather than
Yeah,
digitally
yeah.
edit out every
I,
single one. So a lot of the times where you see a Porg just standing there somewhere in the
just cute little puffin.
background, it was an actual puffin that was
Yeah.
doing the same thing.
And I
I think that
honestly,
that's kind of clever, just slightly modifying the wildlife.
oh yeah, I love it. And I think that whenever I saw the puffin, the porg in the trailer, I think like most people were like,
The one
what
going,
is this? Yeah. I was like, what is this? It's just another thing that's cute for
there's
cute's
a
sake, but
toy
I
grab.
love them.
There's a toy grab. No, they're pretty cute, and yes, they are a toy grab. But I like that their origin didn't start as one.
Yeah, yeah. Um, because everyone's going nuts over them, like, and rightfully so. They're well designed, they're adorable, they're cute.
The
Um,
little feet. They
yeah.
got the little feet. Like
Little
everything else
feet.
about him's like a fuzzy little chipmunk. Then they got these chicken feet.
So throughout the course of the Rey and Skywalker storyline, we figure out that the reason why he's we're going to abbreviate a few things. We're not going to go as in depth as the last one because there's so much we have to say about each thing. But we figure out two sides of one story. The first side of the story that we hear is the reason why Skywalker exiled himself is that he was training a new group of Jedi because he
I
sensed
don't.
a lot of power.
Wait. You got it backwards. We don't hear Luke's side of the story until quite late.
No, we hear his first side, then we hear Ren's side, and then we hear the real side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
saying, but prior to this, we just knew that Kylo Ren had killed and destroyed the Jedi that temple and everybody that Luke had trained and created, and taken a few with him, which was an interesting side note that he specified when Luke was explaining it the first time. He said that Kylo Ren and several of his other students left with him. That's
mhm.
something I haven't heard anybody else make comments about. It's like that makes it interesting to say, where are those other students? What are they doing? If they had the same training Kylo Ren did, and they went with him.
Yeah, because remember in the Force Flash when she picks up the lightsaber in Force Awakens, you can see like 6 or 7 in the Knights
Those
of
are the
Ren.
Knights of Ren. Those have been supposedly they've been around longer than Kylo Ren's been a thing,
Oh, so like he
according to one of the books.
destroyed the Jedi temple, and then he went and found the Knights of Ren, and they were just like, "You,
The
young
Knights of Ren
Ben."
were already working for Snoke, and Ben became their leader.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's
Oh,
the youngest Knight of Ren.
dude works
They're
fast.
we know that they're dark side users, but they're not necessarily like Sith. I think that they use their powers in different ways compared to the traditional.
Interesting, interesting.
I'm sure we'll find out more about them in the next movie. I hope we find out more about them in the next movie,
Yeah.
just
Well, we
because
got
it's
two
just
years.
very interesting.
Yeah. Um. Now. So yeah, we.
During this sequence of happy-go-lucky times with Rey and uh, Luke, Finn is talking with Poe, and everybody's talking, trying to figure out what they should do because they've been found by the Empire, the First Order, and the First Order's capital ship, the Supremacy, is the one that has been tracking them
Mhm.
in light speed, and it's such a big ship that it can dock 6 Star Destroyers within itself.
Yeah. Like the thing
It's
is
pretty big.
fucking
It
massive.
looks like a big boomerang.
Oh yeah. It's
Right. Boomerang.
it's really cool, but I mean this thing is huge. And I never thought. See, here was my big question. Does this sort of B storyline seems like it fits as one of the main episode movies? Like we're
There was a
running
B
out of
storyline.
gas.
They had an A storyline and a B storyline in Empire Strikes Back. There's a lot of striking resemblance between both films, and it's not as as abundantly obvious as it was with Force Awakens. But at the beginning, they're all trying to escape in transports because the Empire, the First Order, is attacking their planet.
Mm-hmm.
The bad guys find and capture a lot of people near the end of it, which
Yeah, this is
happens
the
here too.
darker one.
hmm
Yeah,
there's a lot of that in there.
I swear if there's a stupid dance sequence in the next one. uh, but yeah, so they're trying to figure out what they should do. We have a new character who I get. See, I'm all for the extended universe and all that being incorporated. I'm all for fan service, but whenever you got people like me who don't really like, apparently there is this backstory on Leia. It was a comic or a book or something like that that introduced this character.
You talking about Admiral Holdo?
Yes, and
Yeah, it was a children's book.
yeah,
Came out
I had
2014 or so.
no clue who the hell this was.
Yes,
Um,
yes, it's just fans, like you said. It's just bringing out a character from one of the books that she was in The Force Awakens too, though.
but I feel like I would really have liked if they explained a little bit more that, like, hey, there's some big
But it
history
doesn't.
here.
But it's not that big of a history. It was a children's book, short little children's book. She's just an extra character that Leia took under her wing. That's all. She's not some deep backstory, hundreds of years previously kind of character. It's just she's just someone that some fans might recognize her. That's it.
But that scene whenever like they're leaving and she's like, spoilers again, when she decides to make the sacrifice to stay on the ship so everybody else can leave and they have that really heartfelt goodbye, that's whenever it clicked to me like, oh, this is like they go back like
And again,
deep
it's
cuts.
from that children's book.
Yeah.
But it also could just be they have a close relationship that's not completely out of the realm of possibility. I mean, Leia hugged Rey in Force Awakens, and she'd only met her once prior to that.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
it's just part of that's just the kind of person Leia is.
Yeah. Like, it's just all around fucking great. So I think it's about time. No. Okay, that's
You
later on.
didn't
But
get
I'm
it
so
anyway.
excited to. I'm so excited to talk about Super Leia. Okay. Um,
Stop. But hold on. So they they're still in. They're still sorry. The big ship came, and the best they can do is to keep moving forwards and try to stay out of range of its main cannons.
it's basically the equivalent of like a bicycle race. like
No.
because these ships are moving so slowly, but it's also so intense. Star Wars is a great. That's one of the things I love about it is they'll take things that look seemingly like low stake and not exciting at all, but they'll make it super tense and exciting. You know, like the scene in Force Awakens where they're having the Force battle. If anybody who didn't know what Star Wars was and they walked in, they're just like, why are two people just like intensely staring at each other? With music, but to us, we're like, no, you don't understand. The mind powers doing the cool shit. But
Yeah. Okay, so they're trying to figure out what they need to do. They put all the shields on the back. It's a good time,
uh,
but they don't really know what to do. And then they're not. Well, they didn't do the shields at the back. They got found. They get attacked. Kylo Ren's leading the attack because he's all pissed off because Snoke told him that he's an upstart.
you're just a boy in a
Yeah,
mask. He's like, fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna go destroy this
it's pretty
mask.
great.
It's not a
He destroys
face.
his mask.
I was
Yeah,
sad. That was one of the two most destroying deaths in this entire film.
the mask.
Yes, I love the mask. I went
No,
cosplaying with the mask. It was in my
I
lap
know
while I
you
was
did.
watching
You
it.
should have you should have thrown it at the screen when you were
Like, I don't want it either. It's not a face, Dad. Just throw it at the screen.
yeah, that's totally true. No, I thought it was great because I like to think that the only reason he had the mask was because he was trying so hard to be like Vader, but unlike Vader, he doesn't need the damn thing.
But it's a cool mask. Like, I understand, and like it makes so much sense for to do it. But I was like, God, I love the design of that mask. Don't destroy it. Oh man. But yeah,
Well,
he does. He.
supposedly the mask is it's a combat helmet
Mhm.
that's was designed for specifically the Knights of Ren. Like their other members have similar helmets apparently, so that's why he
Yeah.
kept it. I guess.
Hopefully he'll
Even
get
though
like
we've
a
never
cooler
seen
one.
him in a movie, it's besides flashbacks.
Flashbacks.
That guy's naked.
It is. Yeah, I was wondering if both of us would be able to keep going, but he just popped up like, whoop, okay,
Uh,
and he's gone. Oh,
uh,
it's fine.
okay, so anyway, they get attacked, and then as they're getting attacked, Kylo Ren has the bridge in his sights. Leia and Akbar and several other
Akbar's not there.
nondescript generals. He is too. Just listen. They're all there on the bridge, and Kylo Ren is lining up his shot, and he has the opportunity, take the shot, shoot that thing, shoot
Take the
the
shot.
command bridge. He decides not to, but his two wingmen do take the shot,
Yeah.
and then we get probably the most confusing movie sequence I had ever seen. Period.
So first, positives. Uh,
No, but you're right. Akbar was on. You're wrong. Akbar was on the bridge. They
okay.
specifically mention him later. They say we lost admirals. Akbar. Who knows? What's your face? That guy.
Yeah, I got confused. I didn't know if that's when he died or if it was when the base was originally destroyed. But I was really sad to hear
No,
that.
they got everybody out. They said we got everybody out last minute. Perfect timing. And it's like, yeah, that's convenient.
Yeah, Admiral Akbar is
Okay.
one of my favorite characters, and to hear that he died, I mean, the voice actor who did Akbar recently did die, so it makes sense. But what they did with Carrie in how they handled her death in real life in the
I don't
realms of the
know if
movie.
they really handled it yet, though.
Well, that's the thing. When for those who have
But let's
seen
let's
the
let's
Fast and the
let's
Furious, no,
finish.
I need
Let's
to get
finish
this. I
talking
need to
about
get
the
this off.
scene.
I need to get this
We
off
gotta talk
before
about
we
the
talk
scene
about it.
because what you're explaining ties into it.
Yeah, but
Let me
this needs to be
let's go
explained.
through this scene first
Okay.
because I need to say things too. You're
Okay.
going into how they handle Carrie Fisher's death. Leia survives getting blasted into space and proceeds to fly like Superman to the
It's not a
nearest
bird.
store.
It's not a plane. It's General Leia
It's
Organa,
Leia.
just soaring
It's
with the
it
grace of an
and
eagle.
just I was like when they first showed her body just floating there, I was like, that's really dark, but I guess they're just trying to give her the moment that she deserves because she's such an important person to the series and all that.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, all the ice crystals are gathering up on her face. Then, nope, I'm gonna start twitching, and then force pull myself over to the side of the bridge. It's just great. It's just exactly what happens. But I thought it was gonna be that was gonna be their tribute, and so that's
Hmm.
why I was
And
that's why I wanted
I
to cut
think
you
they did
off.
that on purpose. What I was going to say is, I think that they purposely toyed with us numerous times on when are we going to kill Leia the character, because you all know that in a sense, like she's this is her last, gonna be her last movie, um, which is dark, but super effective. Because every single time she was in danger,
That's a
like,
trap.
yeah, every single
What?
time General Leia was in danger, you knew, like, in the back of your head, you're like, oh shit, is this
Hi.
it? Is this how she's gonna
I
die?
like your lab coat. You've got glasses and a lab coat.
Yes,
In your
very
hair.
very
You
well
look like
dressed,
Doc
sir.
Brown.
Very
I
well
love
dressed,
you.
sir. Love you too. Oh, I mean, anyway. um, uh, so, yeah, she does that, and so many people are so upset about this. But guys,
No, but it was quite a what the crap moment. I've but so I'm assuming she was just using force abilities that she's learned to somehow keep herself from dying when exposed to the vacuum of space. And I guess that's okay because they always reveal new source force powers in each movie. But I couldn't help just getting what the fuck.
oh yeah,
What is going
we
on?
all were. There was I heard someone do an audible what in the theater, and I was like, huh? But like, okay, they could have done it better and could have made it less goofy. But for people
Especially when
saying
they
that they
did the
don't,
like the slow pan into it and stuff. It's like, why
mm,
did she wait, you know, 2 minutes to
when
pour herself in?
but for the people who are saying like I didn't want to see Leia use the Force because she isn't a Jedi and she's never used the Force before. Hey, you want to go back and watch Return of the Jedi? No, there is another. Remember that? Remember that
No,
setup?
you go back even further. You go back to. How do I hear you? That's so weird. Anyway, sometimes when you talk loud enough, you echo. I hear you twice in here, which doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
Anyway, um, hi.
hi.
Um,
Lost your train of thought.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
In Empire Strikes Back, at the end, Leia and Luke have a mental connection. They talk, you
Mm-hmm.
know, pretty far apart, and that's definitely from the Force.
Similar. Now that you mention it, to how Ray and Kylo kind of have a force texting relationship throughout this movie.
It was more like Google Duo or something, video chat right there.
Yeah.
But remember when we used to like do video chat and I had that weird webcam where I could kind of just CGI out the background around me.
Yeah.
That's what it's kind of like because they couldn't see what was around them, just their counterpart there.
I loved
It
it.
was
I thought that was a great plot device. I thought it was really,
I thought so too. I
really
didn't
good.
think like it. I didn't think it was out of the realm of possibilities at all because we've heard Jedi ghosts talking to people all the time, and they just have a innate connection to the Force. So that doesn't mean that it's impossible for someone who's alive to do it.
Which brings me to something that like the movie tried to sell me, but I didn't buy.
I like
We'll talk about that later, though.
crying. What?
So ultimately, going back to the B storyline, they figured out that the reason why they can't get away is they have a tracker on one of the Star Destroyers of the main Star Destroyer ship, Hux's ship, and they gotta go
No,
on board
Snoke
and
ship.
they have to Snoke ship, yeah. On Snoke ship they gotta go on board, they gotta disable it, and then that way
That's what
the
Poe and Ladyface figure out.
yeah,
Can't remember her name.
what's her name? Rose. Yep, Rose.
There
Whose
you go.
whose sister died in the opening act, in a
She
very
was a bomber
silent
pilot.
Bobbish scene where she like kicked down the detonator and she's a
Detonator
fallen
was at the
hero.
top of a ladder. She was at the bottom of the ladder, only like a few seconds. So she kicks the ladder.
Yeah, it
She
was great. I loved it.
kicked. Yeah, it was cool. Anyway, preface to this, and figuring out the trackers, figuring out that they need how trying to come up with a plan for disabling the tracker. Prior to that, is Finn takes it upon himself to try and go find Rey, and goes over to where the escape pods are.
Mm.
And then Rose catches him there, and she's at first all like, "You're one of the heroes of the rebellion.
God, I love
Look at
this.
me flail my shoulders around. It's great." And then she's like, "Why do you have a bag in an escape pod?"
Poe
He's like,
is
"I'm inspecting them," and she's like, "Mm-hmm." And then she proceeds to hit him with a cow taser.
Poe is such a
I'm talking about Finn right now.
that's what I meant to say. Finn is such a Finn is
Oh,
such
is
a
such a
celebrity.
Finn.
He's such a celebrity because he eats it up every single time. Like, I'm with the yes, I'm with the resistance from the first one, and this one's like, I've never met a resistance hero. I was like, well, now you have. May the force
Nice
be
meeting
with you.
you. Go. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna inspect this pod. If you see it leaving,
Don't
it's
worry
not
about
good.
it.
It didn't actually happen.
It's actually a
No
trick
one
of the
needs to
mind.
know. Here,
It's a
drink this.
special.
It's not poison.
Drink this. Go to bed. Don't tell anybody. Don't wake up. Um,
Never tell your parents.
Never tell your parents. Oh man. So he has a very funny scene with her, and then she like tasers the shit out of him with these cool stun guns that I haven't seen in the movies before. We've seen the stun guns where they shoot out the like the circle beams
Circle beams.
from like the first movie where they first shoot Leia with it, and then we see them we see those again towards the end of this film. But this is just a straight up taser, and it's a rough taser
That's why I
too.
called it a cattle prod.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like I thought it was so cool. It's so entertaining to see people get shocked by these things.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But then they get to talking while she's trying to drag him to the brig, and they realize she could probably disable the thing if he can get her in, because he used to be the janitor on the big supremacy ship.
Yeah,
And so
sanitation.
they tell Poe, and Poe's like, "Well, Admiral Holdo isn't gonna do crap.
Hmm.
Let's do it. Not tell her." And then so Poe tells them to go to the casino town because they tried to contact Maz, and Maz was murdering like thousands while she
Just
talked to them, which was kind of amazing.
of innocents and or evil guys. We don't know. We
She
would
said it
never
was a
figure
union
it.
dispute.
Yeah.
She said it was a union dispute, and like it happens often. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was so great.
She
She's
tells
just
them
like in.
because they're going to need someone to hack into the ship for them so they can get through the shields. And so she's like, "Yeah, I know a guy. Go to the planet, find the guy with the thing on his shirt." And they go to the planet, and then Rose is like, "It's this horrible place, a scum and villainy, blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh, so it's gonna be a desert like Mos Eisley. We're gonna see another desert world. It's gonna suck." They go over. It's like Naboo, but with casinos instead.
Which I was super happy about because I hate to
And
quote
it's
this
actually
line, but in
pretty
Star
clean.
Wars, I hate sand. Oh man, do I hate the sand planets. Every
I
time we go to a
can't
desert planet,
stand it.
I can't stand it. It's the worst. But to see that it's like a bunch of rich folk gambling and doing rich people things, and
And
then
turning BB-8 into a slot machine.
oh, I loved it. I loved it
He did
so
magic.
much.
It is this little elderly sentient being that's just fuzzy and animalistic looking, and he can't reach the bigger slot machines, which are conveniently shaped like astromech droids, such as BB-8. And so he's like, "Oh look, there's a smaller one, just my size, on the floor." He just starts shoving tokens in the BB-8 slot. It just it's just so great.
And you can just hear him. He just accepts it too. And toward like the next scene, he's just rolling around. You can just hear the change
You
bouncing
hear the
around in there.
jingling. So good. BB-8 had so many great moments in this movie.
Oh yeah, like every time he was on screen, he did something great, and he's a badass. As we see, so they're looking for this guy with the plum bloom on his chest or whatever, and as soon as they find him, they get thrown in space jail where we meet Benicio del Toro, who is
You're
going to be Orlando for the evening, and
Mm.
they're like, he's like, hey, I can, be a master coder or whatever, and they're like, nah, we're good, not you. He's like, are you sure? They're like, nah, we're good, not you. And then he unlocks the thing with like a baseball card, and they're like, oh, cool. They turn the corner, and
Well,
BB-8
what
is
about the
like,
guy who actually had the flower on his lapel, though?
that's my question. I wonder if that guy,
I think he was the one they were supposed to find.
yeah, that's why, like, did you get the master coder? Like, well, we got
Yeah, this
a
guy.
master coder.
He's got some twitches.
Yeah, he stutters. That's his thing. He's all right.
It's Donald Stutterland. Did you hear me stutter when I said it?
Yeah, you were proud of
It was an
yourself.
accident.
It was
That was
funny.
an
Like,
accident.
hey.
I was laughing because I stuttered unintentionally when I said Sutherland, but Stutterland instead.
Okay.
We're professionals, folks.
No, we're
If
not.
you're here, which I can't tell because I've got the camera zoomed in, I'm so happy to see you, all of you here. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it, makes me laugh. There's wreaths on the stage. It's cool.
Look at this raft. Um,
You're just like Tyrus. Tyrus, where did it all go?
yeah, I'm just
Where did
watching you
everything go
derail
wrong?
slowly. Everything went wrong when we said, "Hey, everybody, welcome to Tyrus and Neo."
Tyrus and A live.
About no, just hey, everybody, welcome to Tyrus and Neo. I'm talking like 9 years ago. That's when it all went wrong.
Look
um,
at this. Oh, oh my goodness! It will have been 9 years. You're right.
okay, so damn, it's
Just
almost been a
it's
decade of this shit.
It'll been 8 years in January, not 9. You can't count.
I can't. Okay, so Ray and Kylo have like this Google
Back
Hangouts
and forth,
relationship back
Google
and
Hangout.
forth. More
Yeah.
jokes, cool stuff. Which brings us to they. She's trying to convince him. No, she's trying to convince him. We're gonna jump forward a bit. She's trying to convince him
I hope so.
to to join the light side, and they
Yeah.
like touch hands, and then Papa Luke comes in. He's like, "No, you got away from that boy!" Blows like
Don't
the
touch him.
roof, blows the roof off this little hut, and that
Oh,
pisses.
that's the thing though. So something we glossed over. Luke has cut himself off from the Force
Mhm.
completely prior to this, prior to Rey showing up. Um, and he decided to, after he started doing some training with Rey, he decided to kind of try and reestablish that connection.
Yeah.
I think he reached out to Leia too, remotely.
No, he didn't reach out to her yet. Um, but yeah, he's basically, as we're learning, this is like the most badass Jedi we've seen on a film. Uh,
Luke?
yeah,
Yeah, that's probably true.
with force powers, anyways. Like his force powers seemed like that of the animated, non-CG like Samurai Jack Clone Wars series, where all Jedi were basically superheroes, and it was so amazing. Go watch that if you ever feel like spending some
Two
time
and
in
a
the
half
prequel
hours
universe, and you have 2.5 hours
without
to
Jar
kill.
Jar.
Just watch that. That's all you need. Like it's great. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but anyways, yeah. So he finds them and he's like, no, and he blows the roof off, and that tells Ray all she needs to know. She's like, all right, cool. Listen, tell me what actually happened. Did you try to kill Kylo Ren like he said? Because he told me that you went in his room and you're going to kill him. And he's all like, no, don't worry about it. Here, let me tell you what happened. I got my sick-ass green lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. And I was going to raise it up because I was like, for a split second,
I was thinking about going to kill him.
yeah, I was gonna kill him a little bit, just a little bit, because I thought that maybe he would be like next Vader, and I was like, no, I don't want that. But then I was like, no, I'm a good guy, so he turned it off, and then Kylo was like, hey,
He didn't get to turn it off.
yeah, he was gonna turn it off, and then like Kylo Ren, Ben woke up, and he's like, Uncle Luke, what are you doing? He's like, don't worry about it, go back to sleep. Except he didn't say that, and then Ren like
Just
brought the
drink
house down.
this. Don't tell your parents.
Don't tell your parents. He brought the house down on him and then like burned everything down. And that is where we got that shot from Force Awakens where the robotic hand is on R2, which I thought was in like from the way it looked, seemed like it was
They
on like
filmed
a
it
on like a
again.
lava planet the first time. But no, it's
No,
just
it
in
was
the
just a lot of fire
Jedi.
behind him.
Yeah, it's a lot of fire behind him, all that stuff. So it was cool to kind of
The
see that
ash
come full
flying through
circle.
the burning ashes flying through the air around him is what made it seem like Mustafar from the prequels.
Yeah, I thought it
Lava
was
planet.
Mustafar for some reason. Um,
No.
so yeah, we figure that out, and Rey's are like, "Cool, I'm gonna use my good guy powers to turn him into a good guy." And Luke's like, "I know how this ends. Don't do that." And she's like, "Well, are you gonna come with me?" He's like, "No, I got more milk to drink." And she's like, "All right, bye." Gets in the Falcon with Chewie. They fly off. Um, so
Oh, and as a side to this, Chewie um, does get some moments with Luke. Pretty cool. I like that. I wanted Chewie to interact with peoples.
good moments too, like that. Wait a minute, and he like you
He
can
needs
see him
old
slowly
friends.
putting it
He needs
together.
to talk with old friends because he's so old
Like the
and he has
Falcon
no
is
friends.
here. Like he's when they first arrived, like Ray, and then Chewie's here. The Falcon's here. Wait a minute, where's Han? And I'm a little disappointed that they cut there. I kind of wanted to hear Chewie go like and then have like a
But we
sad look
know
on Luke's
yeah.
face, but it's implied. you know, but it would have been cool to see that. Like I would have gone for it. I would have made that like an emotional scene because like that that was great. But oh no, before that, okay, the moment that made me cry. I need to go back to this because this is beautiful. This this is one of the most beautifully crafted moments in Star Wars. So Luke
Mhm.
gets on the Falcon and he is just looking around, having all these memories, and he's touching Han's dice and puts it in his pocket and um, he
Yeah, supposedly there's some kind of significance to those dice, but I've never seen them
I don't
previously
remember
in
them,
anything.
but and I'm sure they're in there somewhere. If I go
They're
back and
not
watch the
though.
originals.
That's the point.
Oh, okay. Um, he sits down at the table where the holograph chess thing is, and then who comes to life but R2. R2 comes there and he tries to talk him into returning, and he's like, "No, I can't, R2. Like, there's
And then
nothing
R2's like, "I got this for you. I got some of your old videotapes you had me save
like okay."
in my
I
drives."
was so weepy during this part because here he like Luke was a child, okay, a child who was upset that day because he couldn't go with his friends to go get power converters. Okay, he wasn't even going to buy R2. He was going to get that R4D3 or whatever the hell before that exploded, and then R2 came
No,
up
like
there.
no, they did take that with them, but then it exploded as they were
Yeah,
walking back towards the hut.
yeah,
And then they're
exactly.
like, "This sucks. You
And
Jawas are stupid. I'm gonna rub your faces on my furniture to polish it."
so R2 by chance gets into like possession of Luke, shows him that video of his sister where back then was just this pretty girl that he decided he's going to change his entire life for. And all of this happened
He's
because
perfect.
of that video. And I mean
Hmm.
like
And now it's impacting his life again.
I was I was a mess when that happened because like just watching that, like not only is it young Carrie Fisher, not only is this just, oh my god, I'm probably gonna get going again. Not only is this young Carrie Fisher, not only is this old reunion for the first time of old friends, but he's sitting there and he's watching the thing that started this, that made him a the star warrior when he would have just been working on a damn farm.
I
You know?
gotta go to Hashi Station get some power converters.
Oh my god, it was so good. Like for people who say this entire movie is trash, like fuck you. Go watch that scene again cuz it is beautifully done. Beautifully done. And
Yeah,
if all followed by Luke, that was a low blow. Like yeah,
I
it
did
was
like,
R2.
and I like a lot of just there's not there's a lot in this movie, and there's a lot of twists and turns, and they did a really good job not making them obvious, but they're not ridiculous either. They're all within the realm of possibility. Like I know my friend and I both thought that Holdo was a traitor at first.
uh,
Like immediately, we're like, yeah, no, she's a traitor. She's working for the Empire or something like that.
yeah.
And then at the end, she redeems herself by light speed ramming the supremacy with the boat.
It's
It
so
was
good.
good.
So good. It's so good. So good. And the fact that they cut out they made space realistic for 2.5 seconds where like they had no audio and the entire audience you can hear like audible like whoas
Yeah,
and
no, I think that
wows
was one of
and
the most impactful scenes I've seen in a action movie for a long time.
so much happened there. Um, okay, so we're gonna cut forward. Ray takes Falcon, she flies over, she gets in a pod, she's all like,
Chewie
alright, drop me
throws her at
out.
the ship.
Yeah, she
Chewie
was like,
throws her at the
ugh.
supremacy because she's trying to find Ben.
She gets taken up as a prisoner, taken to Snoke, and Snoke is just like he just strokes his ego for a while. he is super powerful, like really powerful.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people in the first movie were like, "Oh, he doesn't have any Jedi powers or anything," but early in the movie, he drags General Hux by his feet
just
from like who knows how far away,
just
light years away.
detesticalizes him in front of
Yeah, he like
everybody.
drags him by his feet when he says he's gonna take something in his room, take his call with Snoke in his room after the rebels get away.
It's like, no, you're
It's
not.
just,
I'm gonna belittle you in
you ain't
front of
doing that.
everybody.
You ain't doing that at all. It was like Vader force choking people through a TV screen on the ships. So I enjoy that.
Yeah, this
Um,
entire scene with Rey, Kylo, and Snoke is
Snoop
beautiful,
is
start to
great.
finish. Every decision here is great. Everything. Um, and it
Yeah,
basically
it is
goes
very good.
down like this. So, uh,
At one point, Kylo says, you know, he knows who his enemy is and what he has to do, and when the time comes, he's going to do it, what
yeah.
he needs to do
hmm
before they even get into the room. And basically, things escalate. You know, Ray calls Snoke a big doo doo head a couple times,
She
and
has this
so
great
Snoke,
moment where it kind of mirrors when Luke was talking to the Emperor, and Luke forces the lightsaber out from the side of the Emperor and turns it on. Ray kind of
yeah, but he
tries to
does it
do
with
that, but
Kylo's saber.
it flies
Is
around and just knocks her in the head. Which something that heavy, that's a concussion. Ray's out for the rest of the movie. That hit her right on the temple. She's gone. But this is a movie, so whatever. But
they're not that heavy from
but
what
that
I
thing
heard.
is made of like steel, and there's like kyber crystals in there. I don't know how much kyber crystals weigh. It's probably a lot.
Yeah, but do you remember when Luke tossed it over his shoulder? It felt like it was really light.
Oh yeah, true. Um.
Anyway,
Anyways,
no, but the reason it boomeranged around was because Snoke was pulling it back.
yeah, yeah, and it's just so cool that he could just be like, "Ha, you think that? Nope."
You think you can do the thing?
And
Ha! Nope. Anyway,
he's also petty because
it's
like he
cool.
could have just
It's
grabbed it,
cool.
but no, he wanted to hit her in the head with it first.
It's cool. It's cool. He has her like so the Republic ship or rebel ship um is running low on fuel. Been running low on fuel forever. Um, Rose and Finn are on the Supremacy trying to figure out how to turn off the tracker, and um, since the rebel ship's running so low on fuel, the Holdo starts loading people up in transports to try and have them leave the ship. And Poe's like, I ain't having that. No, sir. Ain't gonna go for that because they're just gonna be sitting ducks.
And then mutiny.
They leave the ship, and then they mutiny. Poe and his familiars mutiny Holdo,
And I love the
and
fact
then
that they pulled off a mutiny without ever saying the word mutiny.
no, they did. They said the word mutiny because C-3PO said he will not be party to a mutiny.
Oh yeah, that's true. Poor C-3PO's got shit on this entire series. Like not the entire series, but the past three movies. Like even R2 had this big beautiful moment, and like spoilers, when Luke runs into C-3PO again, he just gets a wink. That's it. No, no, hey, old buddy. It's just like, hey, what's up, Goldenrod? I'm on my way out. Peace. Like that's about it.
Yeah, well, because like can't think of that much besides saying, hey, you guys should take this unit instead of the one that just blew up. That's like the only that was like the only contribution
Which
C-3PO
is
had
like
for the whole
arguably
series
one of the
until
most
Return of the
important.
Jedi. Return of the Jedi is pretty important. He
Yeah.
does a pretty good job with the Ewoks. That's
Yeah.
it though. Um, so yeah, they mutiny, and then Leia wakes up from being a space princess, and she tells Poe he's an idiot and stuns him. And when he wakes up, they're all on little transports. And while they're on the transports, leaving the big main freighter fighter ship thingy, I'm so tired. I'm so sorry. They're leaving it, and
I am
and during
absolutely
this,
exhausted.
Snoke sends Ray force pushers over to this weird magnifying glass that they have.
hmm
And he's like, "Look." your friends are trying to escape on these little boats.
And they're all
Start
going to
firing!"
die.
And while he's looking at that, Finn and Rose and their hacker friend get caught by Captain Phasma because like they were literally just standing there waiting for them to get into the area of it,
Mm,
which is lovely. And it turns out that the hacker guy was a traitor. I don't
Lando.
know if he died or not.
No, he didn't die. He got paid, and he had like one of the best lines in the movie, where they're like,
Yeah, but the whole bridge getting destroyed and stuff like that. I don't remember seeing him take off before that.
"Oh yeah, that's true. He probably did die during that."
I don't know.
But
Um,
oh, let's
yeah,
get through the
it's
the, the
going
Snoke
on.
scene.
Snoke's trying to have is showing her the ships, and then they start firing at them, and it's a bad day for everybody because the transports are getting destroyed. There's like 30 transports, and it's bad. They're getting shot at by the supremacy because somehow they're in range now, even though the big ship's still not close enough range. So it doesn't really make that much sense to me
No,
if I
they
think
were
about
they
it
were
now.
in range. They were always in range, but they were trying to sneak off the ship while they were distracted. Um,
No, I'm
and
talking about the supremacy's range. The supremacy, if it could fire at the little transports leaving from the front of the big ship, but not hit the big ship itself anywhere further along than its shields on its engines, I
mm,
don't understand. It seems kind of strange.
oh, okay.
Everything's falling apart.
It's one of those small things. You just gotta be like, well, it's Star Wars, whatever.
Anyway, yeah, Rey sees that and she tries to attack the Emperor, the Snoke guy with Kylo Ren's saber, and it doesn't work out for her either. And so Emperor Snoke Man puts her down on her knees in front of Kylo and says, "Kylo, kill this bitch."
Do
And
it.
then he's like, "Do it. You will do it. And you will be Vader. You will be complete. You will
You
be
will
whatever,
be the
everything."
new Vader.
And he's like, "I can see it now." He's just like closes his eyes because Snoke's an idiot.
Yep.
Closes his eyes. He's like, "I see it now." He's got Rey's saber next to him on his armrest, and while Kylo's like pulling out his saber and like looks like he's about to turn it on, he's subtly moving his left hand behind his back to rotate the saber
I
on the
love it.
armrest,
I love it.
and then bang, he turns it on, cuts Snoke right in half with the damn.
Cuts the motherfucker in half.
I was like, there's no way this is gonna work. This seems too easy. There's no way this is gonna work. He's the big bad for this trilogy.
The big bad
Nope.
doesn't normally die
Sucker
till the
gets
third
killed
one.
halfway through the movie.
Yeah. And it was so great because like this ain't your mama's Disney Star Wars movie, okay? This is Pirates of the Caribbean 3 Dark Disney, and I am so
It's
happy to
really good.
see that pop up because like he just slides off like a piece of sliced ham, and it was great. And then we get the best moment in probably all the series. Oh, I love this.
Fighting the guards.
Yes, we've seen these
Fighting
red
all the
guys.
guards.
We've seen these red guys before. I love their design. I love how they look. They're cool. Apparently, to the things that are no longer canon, they're like fallen Jedi that are like resurrected and undead. But no, we
No,
got
these are different guards than that though.
okay. We got Rey. We got Kylo. Back to back with sabers and all these these red guys are coming up. Very poor
They're tossing
bodyguards.
each other's sabers at
Yeah,
different times to
but
counter the
oh
shots.
yes, we
They're
get this.
they're
It's
using they're
so
using their
good.
lightsabers to stab people.
It's so
Like
good.
they turn it on in
People
front of
are
their skull and
exploding.
squeeze the hole.
People
It's great.
fall into
It's
like a
great.
fan and
No,
like
it's a buddy movie fight, but
oh, it's
without
so good.
music. It's so good. It's beautiful.
It
And
was
then
great.
Ray's like, "All right, let's go." And Ben's like, "You know what? No, you should join me, and we will rule the galaxy
Together as
as people."
father and no one. I mean, what? Who said what? And then this is what I said earlier.
And
But
then
they tried to sell me something that
"Do you
I
know
don't
your
buy.
pants?" He's like, Do you know your origin? Because you probably already do." And she starts crying, and he says, "They were nothing.
There were
They
no
were
one.
scavengers who traded her for booze money."
They said, and then he said something that was a little too on the nose, like you don't belong in this story. Like you don't mean anything to anyone except for me. And I'm sitting here like, all right, I get it. Not every character has to be related, but you're
Yes,
lying.
that's the whole reason. No, you're stupid. You're
No,
really
no, no,
stupid.
no, no. Just
No, he isn't though, because so there was an interview with Abrams and Rain just a few days ago,
mhm.
saying how they both came to the same conclusion about Ray's parents being no one of significance. The reasoning for this is if you look back at Empire Strikes Back, Luke gets when Luke gets told, Vader is his father. That's literally the hardest possible thing that Luke could hear at that moment.
Right.
Nothing could be harder for him to grasp, harder for him to deal with at that moment than that.
Mhm.
That's why that scene has so much lasting impact.
Right.
At this moment, Rey, she's been looking for her place. She's been looking for her parents because they would tell her, okay, you're the daughter of this general, this thing that tells her where she fits. But that's just it. She doesn't. She doesn't fit. She's going to have to make her own place. And that's why they came to the decision that her parents shouldn't be anyone important.
Okay. I like that because I want to believe that.
It was in an interview with Ryan just the other day.
I
He
know,
literally
but
says it.
they've said
He
so
says it,
many
and he
other
also
misleading
says,
things. I'm just
but he
hoping they
also
stick to
says,
that.
yeah. Well, he also says that it fits because it fits with the whole message of the movie that you don't have to be some member of some family line to be a hero in this galaxy.
Okay, yeah,
That's what they're trying to steer away from too.
that's why I'm really hoping that they don't throw some curveball because like they've dropped so many hints on how she could be connected to Kylo in some way, and so many people are still like, well, how are they so connected with the
Well, that's
Force?
just Snoke.
Yeah, it's Snoke.
Snoke built
Yeah,
the bridge.
it was all mind games and all that stuff. So like it makes perfect sense that she doesn't fit in anywhere, and it's a lot more empowering and great. I'm just hoping the next director that comes along, because like say what you want about this movie and
Abrams is
Force
directing the
Awakens.
next one,
Okay, yeah, Ryan Johnson
so
undid a
it'll be
lot that
fine.
Abrams did, unintentionally and not completely undid,
Like what?
but
What did he
just
undo?
derailed things.
What did he undo that Abrams did?
Like there was a lot of hints that Ray was connected to someone. Ryan, with Abrams' help,
But
of
here's
course, Ryan said nope. The
but
Force.
here's the thing. If you asked when we interviewed about it, Daisy Ridley, just after The Force Awakens came out, said she thought it was obvious who her parents were by the end of the first movie.
Which, yeah, which is another thing that confuses me because, like, no, it's
No,
not.
but in her mind, that means that she already knew that she wasn't supposed to have significant parents. She
Actually,
must have already known that.
we're gonna derail real quick because I heard a very funny thing in an interview. Mark Hamill was
I just
on
want to get
in
to the end of the movie.
okay, but hold on. Mark Hamill was talking about how he had to keep the fact that Vader was his father a secret. So they shot the scene where it was like the original line was Obi-Wan killed your father, and then that's not true, that's impossible. Lob hand goes off. That's it. End scene. And when they were doing the James Earl Jones dub, someone comes in to Mark's room and he says, "I know this. George knows this, and now you will know this. So if this leaks, we'll know it's your fault." And
You'll know
tells
what?
him
You died. You
and
cut out.
tells him that knows that the script change is gonna be when James does the voice dub for shit. Damn it! Hold on. Tell
He's
that person in the
gone
front
now.
row that I'll be back.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
How you doing?
Hello? Okay, I'm back. Okay, kick him off the stage.
Welcome back.
I
Hi.
can't hear
He
him.
got disconnected.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, kick him
You're
off.
free.
Kick him off.
I love that. That's awesome. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Don't take anything we do personally within the next, 2 seconds.
Okay, here we are. Sorry about that, everyone. And by everyone, I mean the people who are maybe watching and quit by now, and the person in the audience.
Oh, no, he stayed. Cool. I didn't have to. Oh, I left
Oh,
anyway. Never mind.
okay.
Ha ha.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, when James Earl Jones was going to do the dub for Darth Vader
Batman.
and was going to reveal that Darth Vader was Luke's father. He had to keep that a secret for a year and a half. Didn't tell anybody, and he said it was the most like
You're
stressful
talking
thing.
about James Earl Jones keeping the secret?
No, about Mark Hamill keeping the secret.
Mark didn't know for a year.
No,
He
he didn't
shooting it,
know
right?
because they shot it. They shot the whole movie, and then the guy came in and said, "Hey, listen, when James Earl Jones
Oh,
does
right.
his
Right.
lines,
David Prost were the only ones in the room besides the film crew. I
yeah."
gotcha.
And when they did
Yeah,
it,
because he would have heard it before, and then yeah, because no one else heard the James Earl Jones
yeah,
line.
and
It's heard what David Prost said,
and David
and they
Prowse
told Luke
said
what
that
he would have to.
Obi-Wan killed your
Yeah,
father.
and Luke would have to. He had to know the truth, so he knew how to react to it. I gotcha. You're
Yeah.
right. That's true.
So it was he
But
talked
just
about how
before David did the David Prost scene, they didn't tell Luke the father line was going to be what he was actually be hearing until just a minute or two before they filmed it.
no, they already filmed it, and then they told
No,
him
I'm talking about before they filmed it with him. Why would they film him reacting to being told that Vader is his father before telling him that's what he's going to actually hear?
because
You're going to get a fully different, wholly different. You're going to get a whole different
A,
reaction.
because it's George Lucas, and B,
I don't. I think you've got some things mixed up or something,
no,
buddy.
I listened to this
Sounds the same to the
like couple
story.
hours ago.
I've read and heard.
I heard it
Mar.
from Mark's mouth. He was over for tea, and he told me it was great. Anyways, ending of the movie. Go.
I'm so confused. Anyway, Kylo Ren and Rey are like, you should be join the dark side. You should join the light side. Everybody should be happy. And then they start fighting over Rey's lightsaber because she tries to get it to defend herself. They're both pulling on it. It explodes. The light speed attack happens the exact same moment. BB-8 shows up in an ATST
Which is
somehow.
great.
It's literally like a fighting game background where there's a whole bunch of nonsense happening in the background while there's a fight going on because Finn grabs the stormtroopers like riot baton, I guess is what they call that weapon, and starts fighting Captain Phasma, who has this extendo pole metal sword pole thing.
Yeah, the execute because they were gonna execute these motherfuckers. She was like, blasters are too good for them. Let's make it hurt. So they're gonna do a full on execution with like this, executioner's axe, but like the Star Wars version of it. And then the light speed rip through the space didn't kill everybody. There were still people on the bridge. And then they had this fight, which felt like the climax. And around this point in the movie, I was thinking that everything was gonna wrap up, and then I was like, wait a minute. I remember in the trailer there's like some planet with like red dust blowing everywhere. We didn't see that yet. Oh, maybe it was cut. But no, towards the end of this movie, you feel like it's about to end. We got like 30 minutes left, like 30 to 45, which is great because that's some of the best stuff in the entire movie. But yeah, Captain Phasma goes down. I'm hoping she'll make a return in the next one because I like her character a lot. I
Oh,
love
she's
that
dead.
actress.
She's dead. So much fire.
You never know. You never
So much fire.
know. She survived being crushed in a trash compactor. So, anyways, um,
But
they
trash
leave.
compactor.
They go to the new rebel base in this salt planet. These cute little crystal wolves. There's only like 100 or so of the resistance left, and basically things are looking like they're screwed. The entire First Order is there. They got these awesome new AT-AT walkers. They got this big Death Star-esque, like they took the
They're
cannon from the
actually
Death Star
called
and
ATM6s,
just,
by the way,
huh?
so you know. ATM6s.
ATM
The big one.
sixes. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. They're about to knock this door down, and so they're basically saying, "All right, let's go for broke. Whatever. Let's get in these rust buckets and just head straight for them." Here's another moment where I thought that they were going to do something super ballsy. Uh,
Naked.
yeah, Poe. Poe Finn and Rose flying straight towards this thing. They got it. The only way they can take this big ramming cannon out is if they shoot it right down the middle. And so halfway through, Poe is like, "No, we're not losing any more today." He pulls out. He listens to General Leia's advice. He's getting some smarts in him. Rose is like, "All right, yeah, I don't want to do this either. Let's get out of here." Finn, what are you doing? Finn. Finn's going straight towards you. He's like, "Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna be a hero." And as soon as he gets there, and you think like, "Oh my God, they're actually gonna kill him." Rose is like, "I'm coming!" Bam! Just collides with him. He
That
flies
bugged
off.
me.
And we get another great, one of the
That
greatest.
bugged me though,
What do
because
you
I
mean?
thought like it'd been perfectly fine. Sorry, I don't like. It's not fine that we kill off a main character, but getting the cannon disabled was worth it, I would think.
Well, here's the thing. We that happened so we can get this line, and this line is super important. Is no, I didn't stop you. I saved you. We don't win wars by killing who we hate. We win wars by saving who we love. And I love that. I think that's perfect. You know what I mean? I think that was worth that because you're right. It would have been very poetic and good for poetic. It would have been great if that happened. But that's really true. That needed to be said. Wars are won by saving those who you love. And then Luke comes in, and we get the other moment that got me all teary-eyed. The reunion of brother and sister.
Leia,
And
Leia.
I know what you're
I'm just glad
thinking.
he
I've
remembered
changed my
not to
hair.
kiss her on the lips.
Yeah, it's like he goes in for it, like, whoa, hey, I forgot about that. Maybe that's why he got so angry. I was thinking like if Rey and Kylo were brothers, brother and sister, and he comes in and he saw them touching hands, he was probably like, "Nope, I've kissed a sibling before. Trust me, you don't want to go down this road." But no, it's something else. So they have that reunion. It's heartfelt. It's beautiful to watch. I love seeing these two together. It's very easy to get me going whenever you have two of the old characters just next to each other, and then he steps out, and it's just the shot that embodies everything that Star Wars is. Luke facing the entire First Order by
Right
himself.
there and there. Right
Just
then and there.
right then
He
and
just
there.
does it. He just does it.
Go
Let me take
ahead.
the reins here. Let me take the reins here because I had a lot of thoughts during this sequence.
Uh-huh.
He walks up. He walks up, and the planet they're on is very salty to the point that the salt concentration is so high that red crystallized salt is like beneath the surface everywhere. It's really pretty, and you get lots of red smoke whenever things get shot.
It's
That's why you have
awesome.
all those smoke trails behind the ships in the trailer.
That is
Um,
beautiful.
it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And salt crystals can be shades of red depending on extra elements in them. Anyway, so he walks out there, and Kylo's like, "He's here. Fire all of the guns.
want every I want every that was a
All of them.
yeah, that was a
guns."
laugh in the theater when he's just, every single last gun on that man and fire. And they do.
And they do
They just open
for
fire
like
for
2 minutes. and
Huck says a
and
great
they,
line.
and then
Do you
Hux
think you
tells
got
to
him?
stop. He tells him to stop. Hux tells him to stop, and Kylo sits down because he's kind of just overwhelmed with emotion at the moment. He's like, I guess. He's like, what do I do now? He's dead. And then just casually, out of the big plume of red smoke appears an unscathed Luke Skywalker.
Just wipes his shoulder off, gives him one of those. Oh, it's so
Go
good.
screw yourself kind of things.
Yeah.
Keeps walking forward. Interestingly enough, he's carrying the saber that Rey was trying to give him earlier.
Hmm.
And it's like, is this a duplicate, a backup that he made?
Maybe. I
I
don't know.
guess.
It's weird.
It's weird.
We just saw it get ripped in half. He's holding it right there.
What happened to his green saber?
Yeah, what happened? That's actually a good question. I want to ask you about that.
I don't know.
But yeah, he's
I'm
holding
just
this
gonna
lightsaber
Anyway,
that just got ripped in
he's
half. It's
holding it.
weird. It's weird.
So anyway, he's walking up to the thinker. He said, "Hey to everybody," and then
Professional reviewing, guys.
Kylo Ren says, get me down," and Hux is like, "What are you doing? You're an idiot."
It's like,
Kylo
I
Ren is like,
know.
"I'm a force push you into a wall," and then Hux is in a wall.
The guy's like, right away, sir. I will bring you down. If he didn't survive that, I volunteer myself for services.
And so he goes down. He confronts Luke. Luke tells him that he failed him and he's sorry. He says, "You know, I'm sorry I failed you, but you suck. I'm gonna kill you anyway." And they have this really, really good duel, really
Oh, it's
great
great.
lightsaber duel.
Oh, it's so
It's
great.
fantastic.
Oh,
And the whole time I was thinking, okay, first off, I was thinking, how how is Luke going to survive getting blasted by those things? Um, to be able to have his standoff with Kylo, because I knew he had to survive it some way, but they didn't really reveal it. He just walks out. He's
not gonna
normal. So like,
lie,
is he
I was
just
kind
that
of
badass?
expecting. You
I was
remember
also
how
kind of expecting him
earlier
to
he
fly away
said,
from Octu in the X-wing that he, put in the water there.
yeah,
Because I
when
was
they
like, well,
saw that, I thought they
they're
were going to
space
do an
proof.
homage to
Yeah,
Empire, where he would just rise it up from the
yeah,
water.
yeah.
But
I thought that would be cool.
because of how
But
badass
anyways,
that,
that
hold
doesn't
on, real quick,
happen.
my prediction was he. Remember how he said, "What do you expect me to take on the entire First Order with a laser sword?" I thought that's what he was going to
I
do.
would
Like
have
I thought
loved it when he
I
did
would
lose
have been
his
so
sword.
happy with that. I'm equally happy with what they did, but I really would have loved if they went full
All
fan
right,
fiction on this.
they're fighting, and then Luke emulates his master by saying, "You strike me down, I'm going to haunt you forever."
Yeah, basically, like, hey, you kill me now, I ain't gonna be gone. I'm gonna be
A
attached
pain
to your
in
ass for quite a
your
while.
butt. Pain in your butt.
Yeah, more
And
powerful than you could
Kylo
possibly imagine.
proceeds to try to stab him, and it just goes through him
Yep,
like nothing, nothing there, nothing. Almost as though Luke's a Force ghost.
almost,
Which
almost as
it's
though.
like it's like what? And he says, "See ya, kid," and he just dissipates. And we cut back to Octu, where Luke is
Oh,
sitting on the
this
rock Ray was sitting on.
motherfucker has been He has been forcing himself to a different location.
He was
Like
force
this.
protecting
Yeah,
himself.
like this
So,
man
so
is like
that's a cool power. It's
so
really cool.
fucking powerful.
It's awesome, and it's actually a kind of a nice nod to the Legends books that are no longer canon. Because in one of those, Luke actually does the exact same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's
That is good
a
to know.
non-canon precedent to it.
Now,
Oh.
my question to you was, did this need? I know why it did, but I'm talking about cinematically and in the realm of storytelling. Do you think that
Did it
this
have to be a
needed?
force projection
No, that
instead
this
of having him show up?
needed to kill him.
No.
Yeah, I feel like
Not from a plot standpoint, but from just how I know Mark Hamill feels about the role now standpoint,
mhm.
that it made perfect sense to kill him off.
I feel like he's still gonna be in the next one. Like
No,
arguably,
Mark
probably even
Hamill
more.
himself said several times that the version of Luke Skywalker in this movie is not the version of Luke Skywalker that he sees. It's not his Luke Skywalker, and so he didn't enjoy playing the role very much this time.
Uh, yeah, it's a shame. Because I know he butted heads with Ryan Johnson a lot, and I would have loved to see Mark's Luke Skywalker. But this Luke is a badass. He gave us some of the best lines Luke has ever said. That big reveal. See you around, kid. We are gonna see him around. Like he's not gone.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna see more of him.
Yeah.
But if I was in charge of writing it, which even when the studio picks up my script, like in it, I mean, they already picked it up, but even when I make it and all that stuff, they're never gonna let me direct a Star Wars movie. But even like if I was writing it, I would have just straight up had him rise at the X-wing, go to that planet, fuck up the First Order, and
Yeah.
then
I kept
sacrifice
waiting for
himself
that.
to
I'm
save
waiting for
everybody.
old X-wing to just come blasting by, going meow.
Yeah,
But maybe he didn't keep. Maybe R2 didn't stay with him, and so he didn't have the guidance system droid he
that's
needs
true.
for the
Yeah,
X-wing.
That's true. Anyways, yeah, we see the cloak
But
disappear in old 70s technology fashion.
the
They
cloak
could have.
doesn't disappear. He disappears and the cloak floats
Yeah, that's
away.
what. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Which is this was cool. I liked it. It was. It
He went
reminded me.
Yoda, and I loved that it meant that Kylo didn't have to
Oh!
kill him.
Oh! How did we not talk about the best part
Don't
of the movie?
talk. Don't talk about it. I'm going to specifically not spoil that sequence because it is the best part of the movie.
Oh! My
People need to see
God!
that themselves, Kyle.
Yes.
People need to see that
Okay.
themselves.
That's true.
We will
Oh,
probably
it's so
talk about
good.
it
It's
in the
so
next.
bad. It's
We'll
so
probably
good.
talk about it. Shut up. We'll probably talk about it in the next episode because people will have complaints.
That's true. Okay. Nope.
Um,
Not CG.
just shut up.
Not
There's
CG.
so much Star Wars. Kyle.
It's not. It's real. It's real. It's there, and I
Kyle.
love it. No, I'm not saying.
Stop
I'm
it.
not. I just said it. I just said it. It could be anything. It's a talking X-wing.
I want you to
It
move
develops a
on.
mouth.
Finish the movie.
And it says
Finish,
things that
finish
made
the
me
movie.
cry.
From the room.
It's so good.
I'm gonna kick you out.
You can-
You're gonna have to come back. You're gonna have to come back. He was a man. I couldn't hear him. I'm sorry. Get back on the stage.
I've gathered myself. Hold on, I'm gonna turn up the volume to see what this man has to say because he's been here longer than anybody else has. Hello, how you doing?
I'd like to hear.
I don't think he's talking anymore. Blazing Fire 00, what's up? How you doing? Thank you so much for coming to Tyrus Live. All right,
Bye.
bye.
I'm not
Okay.
listening to that.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to that.
What'd he say?
No. He said, "Hey, what's going on?" Like the most voice modulated voice I've ever heard.
He stayed here for so long though.
I don't care. They're not real people.
Okay. All right. Ugh. Where are we? The end.
The end is here.
The talking X-Men
Yeah,
is
no,
gone.
Kylo's all sad because he didn't get to kill Luke, and then the Resistance people are trying to find another way out of the base that they found, and they notice that the crystal puppies that we didn't even mention aren't there,
I mentioned
and so
them
they
all.
must have escaped. And then so they're like, "Oh look, this is where the crystal puppies are escaping. There's a big rock slide. We'll never be able to get out, even though we've got explosives and crap. We could probably blow it up." But no, it gets lifted up because Ray knows how to lift up rocks.
It's lifting rocks, because that's what Mark Hamill said the Force isn't. It's lifting rocks. Get it? It's
More than
cool.
lifting rocks.
I like it.
Cool. Anyway, so somehow everybody left, fits in the Millennium Falcon, and they fly away. That's good. Well, Leia's like, we need everything. We have everything we need to rebuild the Resistance right here, and she hands Ray the broken lightsaber, which is just it's broken.
Actually, that's not entirely true. That's not where it ends. It ends.
I didn't get to finish.
Oh yeah.
She says it's not entirely true. I was just giving you a chance to say something about the broken lightsaber. Anyway, yeah, no, she's like, there's a resistance, there's always a light of hope, blah, 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 blah. And one of the kids from the casino planet that we completely glossed over, he works in the stables. He and a couple other kids are like telling the story about Luke facing the army and robots and stuff. And then they get told, go back to work by the stable master. And he goes outside and he force pulls a broom to himself.
Yep.
And he looks at the stars just like you, young Luke.
And I'm hoping that this isn't where Rian Johnson's going to take his next trilogy. I'm hoping that this kid is a part of the next movie, and that's it. And here's why.
I don't know if he's supposed to be anyone significant. I think he's just showing the potential of anybody in the galaxy can be a hero.
Because there's rumors about the Rian Johnson's trilogy. He said, we're exploring a part of the galaxy that has never been explored in films before. And I want...
I'm not letting people say if they keep making the boo noise because it's annoying.
and I want it to be... the Old Republic. But before we talk about that, I want to say that I can tell that something was up with the audience reaction to the
Hmm.
movie because when the movie started, the entire theater applauded. When it ended, this is what I heard. That's a golf clap right there.
That's weird. No one clapped when the opening scroll came up in mine,
Yeah,
but people did clap at the end.
yeah. The theater erupted when the opening stroll came on, and then there was a golf
No,
clap at the
I'm,
end.
I'm saying mine was the opposite.
Yeah. So that's interesting. That is interesting.
Hell yeah,
Hmm.
so good.
I loved it. It's in my top five favorite Star Wars films. Now it's time to make the new list. So my list goes 1, 2, 7, 4.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Why?
sorry. I'm
Why
sorry.
are there
I'm
numbers?
sorry. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. No, no,
What?
no.
Why
I
are
was
you
doing an
saying
order of
numbers?
release. I was doing an order of release. Okay.
No!
Here's my favorite. Here's my
I'm
favorite.
so
From most to least favorite. Okay. 4, 5,
Wait,
7.
when did 4 become your favorite? I thought you liked 5.
5 is the perfect Star Wars movie cinematically and critically, but 1 has the most
Oh.
nostalgia, and it's just the best for when you just want a quick Star Wars.
Episode 4 is the best when you want a quick Star Wars.
Yeah, when you just want some Star Wars and you want to see, the
I
origins of
don't know.
everything.
That one takes a while to get into some of the stuff
That's true.
too.
To be honest, my favorite differs all the time. Like right now, this one's uh, okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Let me see. 4 and 5 are tied. 4 and 5, then 7, then 6, then Rogue One. I mean, then this, then Rogue One, then
Oh, then the prequels. Just
3,
throw the prequels there.
and then 1, and then 2.
I like talking.
Yeah, I like 1 better than 2 because 1 you can enjoy because of its bad moments. 2 to me is just boring at times, most of the time, majority of the time. What's yours
All the time.
list?
So my favorite is episode 5. Then probably episode 8. Then 4. Well, no, then 6. Then 4. Then 7. Then 2. Then 3. Then 1. And I didn't really put Rogue One in the list because it's not numbered.
Yeah. I plan on seeing this movie more before it comes out on DVD, and I plan on seeing it more after that. Uh,
Well, that's good.
yeah, because like this movie was fun. It was the longest Star Wars movie. You get the most for your money. Like everything for like what, $12? You get a lot. There's a lot of movie in this movie. Like a lot of movie. It feels exhausting in the best ways possible. And so I think if you want to spend your money on
Uh,
any movie this year, like just go ahead and go out to the theater and get that because this movie it's just fun. That's it. It's just fun. If you turn off your brain to some of the dumber moments, and if you stop being so I need everything to be the same as all the other movies, then you're gonna have a really great time with this. There's some great effects, great practical effects, great CG effects, great
mhm.
acting, great storytelling, great sets, great everything. It's fun.
It's a great movie. They're great movies. It's a great series. I'm glad to see that it's going to continue for who knows how long.
At least
We'll get
23
to see
years.
lots of new actors, new directors getting their takes on the universe. You know, eventually we'll get to just not even have to worry about Skywalkers being involved. Period.
We don't even have to wait a year for the next Star Wars movie. We just gotta wait 5 months.
You're the
May
next Star Wars
25th.
movie.
May 25th, Solo comes out.
I'm gonna be a solo.
And I wonder if that's what they're gonna do now, is if the episodes are gonna be December releases and the in-betweens are gonna go back to being May releases like the other ones.
Hmm.
Well, anyways, thanks so much for your time.
And your people.
Your
Don't tell your
pancakes.
parents.
Never tell your parents. And we're gonna leave now.
We're
So
dead inside. I
we
hope
are
you
dead
love us.
inside. I got no sleep.
This is probably a really, really poorly done podcast.
I mean, it's just better than when we
Is
did
that
Force
Rev?
Awakens. When we did Force Awakens, and the review was 25 minutes longer than the movie. Where this one, let's see, we started it at like 8 o'clock. It's 10 now. So we've been talking about this
Mm-hmm.
for like fucking 2 hours. Okay, cool, great. It's still not longer than the movie, but my god.
Sorry, I got thrown off. One of the guys in the
Oh.
audience had turned into somebody I used to know a long time ago. It's kind of
Ah,
crazy.
all right. Well,
Hey, 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 I'm gonna build a Death Star.
we're gonna go finish filming a music video for Tyrus and Neo. But if you're just getting here and you want to see our full review of Star Wars: The Last Jedi, go to Tyrus and Neo.
As soon as you said that.
YouTube.com/Tyrus and Neo. Um, and just there's Star Wars month, which we did for Force Awakens. It was great. There's
We're
like
gonna have a couple
25
Star Wars things
videos.
out this month sometime.
There's a bunch of live action stuff. And remember, just the Force be with you. And if you want to, do extra stuff for
Please,
us, you can
please leave
go.
us
Yep.
alone.
Yeah. You just leave a small penny on top of your desk. We'll come up. We'll pick it up. We'll
Tell
save
it,
it to our
tell it,
collection.
tell it, tell it. Tell that story.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Hold on. No, this is gonna be professional.
No, they're gone.
Don't worry about it.
I closed the room.
Okay, there you go. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, Carrie Fisher.
Rest in peace.
Rips. Rips.